Yeah.
Here we go.
But Carol's.
Regular meeting of Washington, Missouri City Council, Monday, October 21st, 2024, 7:05 PM. Bear?
Here.
Briggs?
Here.
Coulter?
Yep.
Heidrich?
Aye.
Meyer?
Aye.
Patke?
Here.
Reed?
You bet.
Wessels?
Here.
Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Will all the council members answer if they have or have not read the minutes of the council meeting dated October 7, 2024? Bear?
Yes.
Briggs?
Yes.
Coulter?
Yes.
Heidrich?
Aye.
Holtmeyer?
Aye.
Patke?
Yes.
Reed?
Yes.
Wessels?
Aye.
Motion approve. Second.
Motion by Bear, second by Patke to approve. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion's approved.
Approval and adjustment of agenda, including consent agenda. You have the change order number 1 for the 2024 sanitary sewer extension project and a liquor license application for Auto Express.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion by Patke, second by Coulter. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Priority items, mayor's presentations, appointments, and reappointments. Resolution, thank you, Susan Harms.
I don't see Susan here tonight.
Do we want to wait and see if she can attend the next one, and then we can just skip to the next?
It's not a bad idea. Why don't we do that?
There you go.
Carolyn Witt.
I'm a W. I was that being first. I do best at the end of the alphabet. Hi. Hi. Oh, you're so kind.
That kind of show.
Resolution City of Washington. I better do this.
There you go.
Gets on record. Sorry. Resolution, City of Washington, Missouri. Thank you, Carolyn Witt. Whereas Carolyn Witt has been a member of the Washington Historic Preservation Commission for 12 years, and whereas during her 12 years in office, she has given her time and effort to serve the citizens of the City of Washington, Missouri, and whereas she has served faithfully and has played a vital role in the important work in the community, and whereas she has been an influence for good in the growth and progress of our community, and whereas Carolyn Witt is entitled to just recognition for all these efforts. Now, therefore, I, James D. Hagedorn, by virtue of the authority vested in me as mayor, and speaking on behalf of the Washington Historic Preservation Commission and all our citizens, do hereby tender to Carolyn Witt this resolution, extending our deep appreciation for her 12 years of service to the community, and order this resolution spread upon the records of the City of Washington, Missouri, and a copy thereof delivered to Carolyn.
Thank you, gentlemen. I am very grateful, and lady. I really appreciate it. It was time to get some new blood on historic preservation. I mean, I'm old, but that's okay. We needed, and we did. We've got a good group. And I hope you'll all remember how key our historic history here is in Washington. Architecturally, in the soul, I mean, we are pretty amazing, and that represents us well. And we need to nurture that, which we have in the past, and thanks to support from organizations like the City Council. And thank you for the opportunity. I may have retired, but you couldn't get rid of me. So, thank you. I appreciate still having the opportunity to serve this community that is my hometown, even though it's only 40 3 or 4 years. And thank you very much. I'm very grateful.
Thank you, Carolyn.
Thank you.
Public hearings, rezoning 900.
No, you forgot police department.
Oh, I'm sorry, Jim. Police Department reappointments.
No worries. Good evening, council. I'd like to present 2 officers for reappointment, Officer Nolan Crawford and Officer Greg Garrett. They're both SROs, and they're doing a great job for us.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion by Patke, second by Briggs. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Got him back for a year.
Public hearings, rezoning 900, 902, 904, 906 West Ridge Drive, and 1311, 1313, 1319, and 1321 High Street and Lot 1 Restridge Jasper subdivision.
Good evening, council. This is a good one today because P and Z didn't get to see these slides. We had some technical difficulties. So here we go, Westridge and Jasper 2 subdivision. It is 5 lots. 4 of them were developed as duplexes, and then 1 lot is currently vacant. So when the applicant came to me and asked, what can I do to build on this last lot? I suggested that they rezone because their current zoning is commercial, and they need to be zoned R2 to, be in compliance and fit with the community. So here is the zoning map. You can see there is some commercial that is south of High Street, but pretty much everything else is R1A or R1B. But back in September 1990, you can see that, C1 allowed for duplexes. And so that's what we're doing. We're here to just get permission to change that zoning so they can be in compliance.
So those duplexes were on, and it was
Commercially
zoned
zoned
commercial,
property.
but it was.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
No questions? No comments? It's a public hearing, folks. Would anyone like to speak on this? Please come forward and state your name and address. Okay. Take a motion to accept it into the minutes? Is
I'll
that
make a,
right?
mo-
Correct?
Yep.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Motion by Briggs, second by Patke to accept into the minutes. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. 3B, Sherry, please.
An ordinance rezoning 900, 902, 904, 906 Westridge Drive, and 1311, 1313, 1319, and 1321 High Street and Lot 1 Westridge Jasper subdivision from C2 General Commercial to R2 2-family residential in the city of Washington, Franklin County, Missouri.
Patke.
Introduced by Patke. Okay. Everybody ready for second reading or one comment? Okay, go ahead, Sherry.
An ordinance rezoning 900, 902, 904, 906 West Ridge Drive in 1311, 1313, 1319, and 1321 High Street and Lot 1 West Ridge Jasper subdivision from C2 General Commercial to R2 2-family residential in the city of Washington, Franklin County, Missouri. Patke,
Yes.
Heidrich,
Aye.
Briggs,
Yes.
Reed,
Yes.
Bear,
Yes.
Coulter,
Yes.
Wessels,
Aye.
Holtmeyer.
Aye.
By your vote, the rezoning is passed.
Citizens' comments.
Would anyone in the audience like to come forward and speak? Now's your chance. Okay.
Report of department heads.
Good evening, council. Just to give you an update on the Front Street sanitary sewer project. So the repair's been complete. We talked about they are looking at slip lining further east to Lafayette and then west in front of the depot. They're looking at televising the rest of the line going west as well. Their camera's broke. They're getting it fixed this week, and then they'll get back to televising and figure out how far west they need a slip line. As far as getting the repair down there, the curb and gutter in front of that Circle Drive east of the Amtrak depot is tore out right now. So we need to get that driveway in, the curb and gutter back. We talked about, the plan is to put in a 4-foot sidewalk there. There wasn't a sidewalk on that north side currently, but it was the only stretch without sidewalk, so get a sidewalk in there so people can utilize that for now. As part of our 2026 Front Street project, we have stormwater improvements in that area. We're going to add some pipes and an inlet there in that island area. So we'll end up probably taking out most of that curb and gutter and sidewalk anyways, but we'll put in the minimum sidewalk now and repair that when we get to the project, and then probably explore. I know there were some ideas about trying to add more parking down there in the Circle Drive and that, so we'll kind of put that on the list to look at here and maybe incorporate that with our Front Street project when we get there, so. Questions or anything?
So we'll open it up to the minimum of what we had before with the addition of the sidewalk, just knowing like, but Charles said that, you know, it's like they're gonna be looking at changing the elevations on those curbs so to prevent stormwater problems
Yeah,
down
we
there
have,
at
we
the
have some
depot.
stormwater runoff problems there now going through, so we're gonna get that fixed with the project.
We'll do that when we do Front Street,
When we do Front Street in
Yep,
2026.
that's the goal.
so.
Charles, I know this is off topic, and I know we got the bid back for the High Street turn lane.
Yes.
Do you know time frame on when that might be done?
They've got to get with their supplier for the signals, see how long it's going to take to get those in. They were working on that today, so hopefully sometime this week I'll have a better idea and I can give you
Okay.
guys an update of when
Thank you.
the repair will be done.
Good job on Third Street.
Yeah, it's come together, so
Good.
just a few more punch lists and sod to do, so,
Looks good.
thanks.
Thanks, Charles.
Ordinances and resolutions, an ordinance authorizing and directing the acceptance of a proposal by and between the City of Washington, Missouri and Bergen KDV to conduct the annual audit.
Hopemar.
Introduced by Hopemar.
Hello. I just wanted to tell you why we had to actually go out for bid. In August, we received a letter from Sickage that they were not able to, they were terminating our professional accounting and auditing services because, due to a lack of independence, and that's because I was a partner there and retired and then came here as the finance director. So as a lack of independence, they really can't do the audit. So that's why we had to go out for bid. So we went out for bid. We sent the RFP to 8 regional firms. We only received one proposal back, and that was from Clifton Larson Allen. The finance committee did decide to go out and, reject this proposal, go out for bid again, and I changed it just a little bit and said that we would have separate fees for the preparation of the financial statement versus the audit. I figured, well, I could prepare the financial statements. If it, saves the city a lot of money, yeah, we'll go ahead and do it. It's not a problem. So then I did receive 3 proposals. I sent it out to 7 other regional firms. And so we received 3 proposals. One was from Bergen KDV, Larson Allen, and Forbes. I did talk to the 2 of the firms I talked to. One, Clifton Larson, I did know who they were. I talked to the references on Bergen KDV because they were the lowest bid. I did, like I said, I talked to all the references and they had very good references. They were very nice to talk to whenever I talked to them about the city and all that. All the firms, of course, had a pass rating on their peer review, so that was very good. I did send this out to the Finance Committee. As you'll see, you had the audit bid evaluation on the back there. I do know this was a large increase on the audit, but I think that's just the way the audits are going. The audit prices have just really gotten expensive. And that's because of a lack of people to actually do the audit. And then they're also having problems with getting employees in some of the audit firms and stuff too. So I did expect the audit fees to go up, and of course they did. And so I thought Bergen KDV would do a very good job. They had all the right references. They had everything in their proposals, and they were the lowest bid. So I took it out to the Finance Committee, and they did agree that we would recommend that we go with audit services for Bergen KDB.
And Amy, as I understand, we are looking at a 5-year.
Yes, we can either do a 5-year, or they said what we could do would be just a 1-year. I recommend we go ahead and do a 5-year because, I mean, these are very good rates. I think, you know, just having a 5% increase, I can prepare the ACFR. I don't have a problem doing that, you know, which would save us $5,000 a year. Like I said, I don't have a problem doing that at all. But, you know, if we would go out for bid again next year, I'm afraid what the fees would be, you know. But we could cancel at any time with them too.
The reason I was asking that is if we could cancel, we have an option out, is what I'm saying.
Right.
Because
We do.
would there be a possibility that Sickage could get back in the game next year?
They could, but I don't think the fees are gonna be that as low as they were.
Right.
I mean,
Okay.
but I did talk to them and they said they would be willing to bid again, but I think the bid will be higher, a lot higher.
Okay.
I did talk to a lot of other finance directors in a lot of the other cities, and I do know that the audit fees are going way up for everybody.
Well, I think we had two bankers on our committee that also mentioned the same thing that they're experiencing with their respective banks, both Becky Koch and Jay Novak. So, both expressed the same thing, so.
Yeah, so, and I think too, whenever I even talk to Union, I think they're paying $39.9 for their audit, which, I mean, they're not as big as us, but, I mean, so they're paying a pretty hefty fee for their audit too. So,
What time of year do they usually do audits? Is it all at standard times or?
no, it depends on when your year end is. The city of Union has a June year end. So their audit is technically due within 6 months or by December 31st. Ours is September year end, and then you have some that are December year ends. It's just all different.
Okay. Just curious.
So, yeah. But it just seems like everybody's having problems getting people, you
Yeah.
know, in the firms to audit. And so, and with the new GASBs that came through with the SPITAs and the leases and everything, that really took a lot of time and a lot of additional effort to do that part of the audit, so.
paperwork.
Yeah, so.
More questions, discussion? Second reading, Sherry.
An ordinance authorizing and directing the acceptance of a proposal by and between the City of Washington, Missouri and Bergen KDV to conduct the annual audit. Patke,
Yes.
Heidrich,
Aye.
Briggs,
Yes.
Reed,
Yes.
Bear,
Yes.
Coulter,
Yes.
Wessels,
Aye.
Holtmeyer.
Aye.
By your vote, ordinance 7A passes.
Thank you very
Tammy.
much.
Thank you, Tammy.
Thank you.
An ordinance authorizing and directing the execution of a sales contract by and between the City of Washington, Missouri and Compass Minerals for bulk rock salt.
Heidrich.
Introduced by Heidrich.
Good evening, council. This is our salt bid for the year. Last year, we were at 80.42. This bid came in at 77.38. They were the low bid, Compass Minerals out of Kansas City. The salt dome at the moment is completely full, so depending on how the winter goes, if we have an emergency and we need them, it's there. If it's mild and we don't, we can always bid out again next year and just kind of see how it goes. I think if it's any consolation, I think the county came in a couple dollars cheaper than us this year. So.
It's amazing. Everything else that we look at, you just, you know, going through the roof, the prices have jumped so high, and this is down, huh?
You know, I talked to a couple of the other salt vendors and they say sometimes some companies have a large inventory they're trying to unload. They can lower their prices. Some of them go up. I think one of the stories was that some of the salt comes from Egypt, and when the canal got blocked a few years back, that affected salt prices, so.
Pretty mild winter last year.
I was gonna say weather. Weather has a big deal.
Yeah.
No further questions? Okay. Thanks, Tony.
Thank you.
Second reading.
An ordinance authorizing and directing the execution of a sales contract by and between the City of Washington, Missouri and Compass Minerals for bulk rock salt. Patke.
Yes.
Hydrich.
Aye.
Briggs.
Yes.
Reed.
Yes.
Bear.
Yes.
Coulter.
Yes.
Wessels.
Aye.
Holtmeyer.
Aye.
By your vote, ordinance 7B passes. You okay?
7C, please.
An ordinance authorizing and directing the execution of a contract agreement by and between the City of Washington, Missouri and KJ Undersaw Construction Company for the 2024 Don Avenue Pottery Road intersection project and amend the 2025 budget.
Holtmeyer.
Introduced by Holtmeyer.
So this is the project that's off Don Avenue. It's going to be the new intersection there at Old Pottery and Pottery Road. This was in the development agreement with those apartments, Washington Terrace there, that they would do Don Avenue. The city would do the portion that ties into Pottery Road there, the intersection. We had $215,000 in the budget. We got one bid from KJ Understall for $219,000, so there will be a $5,000 budget amendment to approve this, but we do recommend this for approval.
Will they take care of the residents on both sides of that lane now that goes to their houses?
As far as keeping them access,
Yeah.
yes, we will. The one will still have, the two houses that are to the south will still have access off their existing driveway there to Pottery Road. And then the other three will have some sort of temporary road put in so that they have access the whole time. So it's part of the contract.
Thanks.
So there's where it is, and those are the three homes to the north there that will be impacted for construction.
So it won't match up with Holt Gravy?
No, it will not.
No, that was never,
Okay.
It'll be
I
its
looked
own-
and it was right next to the cemetery was Holt Gravy. I was wondering how that was gonna work out, but
No.
it's down the road.
Further questions? Second reading. Thanks, Charles.
An ordinance authorizing and directing the execution of a contract agreement by and between the City of Washington, Missouri and KJ Undersaw Construction Company for the 2024 Don Avenue Pottery Road intersection project and amend the 2025 budget. Patke.
Yes.
bless you.
Hydrich.
Aye.
Briggs.
Yes.
Reed.
Yes.
Bear.
Yes.
Coulter.
Yes.
Wessels.
Aye.
Holtmeyer.
Aye.
By your vote, ordinance 7C passes. D, please.
An ordinance authorizing and accepting the dedication of a drainage easement, Lot 3R of Westplex Plat 2.
Holtmeyer.
Introduced by Holtmeyer.
So this is the drainage easement. You can see the hatched area. There's a drainage easement at the top existing where we had a storm, an area inlet and storm pipe running there. The vet hospital there, the property just to the south that owns both those lots, Lot R3 and the one to the southwest there. They did a building expansion and a parking lot. As part of the parking lot, they redid some of the drainage, so they moved the drainage south essentially, so they needed an easement so that we could come in there and still maintain the stormwater through there, so. That's all that's.
Comments, questions? Okay. Thanks, Charles. Second reading, Sherry.
An ordinance authorizing and accepting the dedication of a drainage easement, Lot 3R of Westplex Plat 2. Patke.
Yes.
Hydrich.
Aye.
Briggs.
Yes.
Reed.
Yes.
Bear.
Yes.
Coulter.
Yes.
Wessels.
Aye.
Holtmeyer.
Aye.
By your vote, ordinance 7D passes. E, please.
An ordinance approving a boundary adjustment for Windy Hills, Plat 3 in the City of Washington, Franklin County, Missouri.
Holtmeyer.
Okay, so boundary
Holt.
adjustment. As you can see, there is a simple line move. It's about 15 feet to the west. It's to allow for development on Lot 13, which will be 13A if you approve this boundary adjustment. The lot sizes, the setbacks, all that are still within our current zoning requirements, so everything on both properties are still meeting our zoning district.
No questions?
No.
Oh, I see. That's the proposed addition that's
Right.
leaking over there. I got
I made it real bright for
it.
you.
Yeah, I got it.
It's hard to read in the packet.
It is.
When you blow it up, you can't read proposed addition.
That's why I told her to have a nice, shiny
Mm-hmm.
presentation for you.
Red light, green light.
Second reading, please.
An ordinance approving a boundary adjustment for Windy Hills Plat 3 in the city of Washington, Franklin County, Missouri. Patke,
Yes.
Hydrich,
Aye.
Briggs,
Yes.
Reed,
Yes.
Bear,
Yes.
Coulter,
Yes.
Wessels,
Aye.
Holtmeyer.
Aye.
By your vote, ordinance 7E passes. F, please.
An ordinance authorizing and directing the execution of agreement by and between the city of Washington, Missouri and PGAV Planners LLC to evaluate the economic impact of redevelopment of the Fifth Street corridor from Highway 47 west to Stafford Street and amend the 2024-2025 budget.
Patke.
Introduced by Patke.
So within your packet is, you've got two items. Item F and G are tied together, whatever. F is the ordinance for the city to enter into an agreement with PGAV to do this economic impact development study. And then item G is an ordinance to enter into a contract with Wash Cedar LLC that will reimburse the city for the cost of the development plan. So you see, they're both being amended the budget to show that the money's coming in, but it's also amending the budget on G to show that that we'll receive the revenue in to go ahead and offset the cost. As you can see within the letter, I'll read parts of it. The scope of the work to be performed will be to focus on the Fifth Street corridor, primarily from its intersection, and we said at Highway 47 on the east, westward to its intersection with Stafford Street. Focus would be given on the redevelopment of two key parcels, 533 and 537 East Fifth Street, commonly known as Dollar General and Tri-Fitness location, and 324 West Fifth Street, former Cedar Crest Nursing Facility. The city received two proposals on June 21st, 2024, and staff reviewed the proposals on July 24th, 2024, and selected to negotiate a contract with PGAV Planners. On August 22nd, PGAV Planners presented the attached proposal for consideration. The Fifth Street corridor was a focus area of the city's recent comprehensive plan in Washimo on the Go. There are two ordinances, as I said earlier. One is to approve this budget amendment and enter into a contract with PJV. The next one, G, is to go ahead to enter an agreement with Wash Cedar LLC to be reimbursed for the expense. This is the first step, just to go ahead and see what the economic impact would be as a result of if those two parcels that we listed by address are to be redeveloped. And then we can take a look once that study. The study should be completed within about 3 to 4 months.
Is the reason we do it and then be reimbursed is because of the possibility for the TIF, that only the city would be involved in that kind of a process?
Pretty much, or at least it puts the burden on the developer to go ahead and provide, to show us that there's a need to go ahead and do such.
I was just thinking maybe the developer should just do it with PGAV.
Oh. Well, I think to answer that, I mean, this is what we were, when we met with Mark Grimm, our bond counsel, who typically walks us through these, this was the first step that he suggested. But it's really for the city to go ahead and see what that economic impact is, so I think that's the main reason why it's directly with us.
Further questions? Second read, please.
An ordinance authorizing and directing the execution of agreement by and between the city of Washington, Missouri and PJAV Planners LLC to evaluate the economic impact of the redevelopment of the Fifth Street corridor from Highway 47 west to Stafford Street and amend the 2024-2025 budget. Patke,
Yes.
Hydrich,
Aye.
Briggs,
Yes.
Reed,
Yes.
Bear,
Yes.
Coulter,
Yes.
Wessels,
Aye.
Holtmeyer.
Aye.
By your vote, ordinance 7F passes. G, please.
An ordinance authorizing and directing the execution of an economic impact analysis cost share agreement by and between the city of Washington, Missouri and Wash Cedar LLC and amend the 2024-2025 budget.
Patke.
Introduced by Patke.
No further explanation, as I said, from the previous ordinance. I will say Bo Reinberg is here as a representative of Wash Cedar LLC.
Okay. Second reading, Sherry.
An ordinance authorizing and directing the execution of an economic impact analysis cost share agreement by and between the City of Washington, Missouri and Wash Cedar LLC and amend the 2024-2025 budget. Patke,
Yes.
Heidrich,
Aye.
Briggs,
Yes.
Reed,
Yes.
Bear,
Yes.
Coulter,
Yes.
Wessels,
Aye.
Holtmeyer.
Aye.
By your vote, ordinance 7G passes.
Commission, committee, and board reports, red light camera update.
Do you want to? I'll
You can start.
I'll
There we
start,
go.
and you can fill in the blanks.
Okay.
So this has been a topic of discussion at the City Traffic Committee for the past couple of months. It was, we had some discussions about, is there a need, do we have excessive running of red lights within the community, et cetera. But they looked at it, and one of the requests from a resident was to consider the reimplementation of that red light camera enforcement program that the city had in the past. I think if you read the letter that Mike provided you, talks about some of the concerns that have been raised since that time. I think there's only a couple of municipalities that are looking at using them again. City of St. Louis is one of them, but they're currently still in the process of implementing those. After the traffic committee discussed this at length, the thought would be the most prudent for them to wait for further guidance from the courts, which likely arise from future challenges to the City of St. Louis's ordinance, if we want to use that as a tool to help with enforcement of running red lights at our intersections. We just wanted to go ahead, and I advised or asked Mike to go ahead, Sergeant Grissom, to go ahead and write a letter to you explaining that what the committee had discussed and why they came at a conclusion for the time being not to move forward with any type of red light cameras. That's all I have, unless you have,
Have questions?
yeah.
And Mike is here. He's the one that made the request. I'm not sure if you want to hear from him also.
Come on, Mike, see, it only took us like 38 minutes, so you didn't have to sit through too much. You enjoyed it. Reminded you of your past.
Good evening. I'm Mike Edler, a city resident. I have an even better solution than the red light cameras. Actually, I'm speaking tonight, I feel, as an advocate for really the residents or anybody who drives around Washington. About 4 years ago, I was involved in a serious collision at 47 and 14th Street. I would say I was going about 3 miles an hour, and I was hit with such force from a lady who ran a red light camera. I was 3/4 of the way through the intersection, and she hit me with such force that it rolled my SUV over twice and spun around until it came back to the pole. The investigating officer, when he came up to the hospital, he thought I was turning south on the 47. That wasn't the case at all. Until this time, I wasn't on advice of counsel, legal counsel. I wasn't allowed to talk, even to my friends, and he said, a little alone in a public meeting, but I can now. And what I think, there was a gentleman from New Haven in February of this year. His name was Terry Beckmar, and he came to the traffic committee, and he said what he witnessed, a semi running a red light, in quotes, it was the most egregious thing I've ever seen a professional driver do. And I'm here to echo that. The person that hit me was a nurse. Thank God I wasn't killed, but sustained serious injuries nonetheless. Very recently, in the last 5 days, there's a post by a former policeman here in Washington, and he said on Facebook 6 days ago, I just watched a Ford F-250 blow through two very red lights on Highway 100 at Washington Heights Drive, and the major one at Highway 147 around 2:45 p.m. So, obviously the answer isn't red light cameras. So kicking the can down the road doesn't seem prudent and responsible. So the thought came to me about 2 years ago, the city gave, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, I think I'm in the ballpark, about 8.2% increases in salaries to the staff. I'm not going to go in the weeds there. I'm not saying that was good or bad. I'm just stating it as a fact. Currently, I think between this year and next year, you're going to raise salaries, total salaries, to the tune of about $3 million. So, I think instead of kicking down the can down the road, waiting all the money that's being spent in insurance claims, which affects all of our rates, injuries. I mean, if I told you the amount of my medical bills, and I'm here standing and look fine, I guess that's disputable, but you'd be amazed at what an auto accident can do. And hopefully, my words tonight, open your minds and your hearts that we can prevent anyone else from being seriously hurt or killed, because I think that's going to be the next, sooner or later, someone is going to get killed. What I just read from the post on Facebook, etc. So I'm not here speaking for myself. I mean, that's done and over with. It is what it is, and I just have to go on. But speaking, if the city has the money, in my view, and I think you're short of police officers. And no, Jim Armstrong and I did not discuss this before tonight. I just came to that conclusion on my own, that there's obviously a shortage of police men and women that are able to patrol that. And they need to do it, and I think you can probably do it with a few $100,000. Small potatoes in comparison to the $3 million and the 8.2, and get non-black vehicles, truly unmarked, license plates on them, and patrol this area from High Street to South Point Road. The life you save, it may be your own, it may be your child, it's going to be someone. So I hope you take action and strongly consider that you probably don't have enough police officers. First point. Second point, we can afford it. Matter of fact, we can't afford not to do it. Thank you.
Thanks, Mike.
Thank you, Mike. Discussion, guys?
We could have those unmarked cars look for people, look for those cars who have out-of-date license plates. Probably prosecute those people would be the best thing to do. Don't have insurance. But thanks, Mike, for the information. Yeah.
We need to accept this in the minutes.
Yes.
Oh, you need to accept the letter, yes.
I'll make a motion accepting the minutes.
I'll second it.
Motion by Patke, second by Briggs to accept the letter into the minutes. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Mayor's report.
Michael, thank you for your words before you leave. You guys, I went to Isaac Lashley's wake this afternoon. 16-year-old kid who lost his life on one of our roads. Great kid, bright future, all the accolades you could talk about. And combine that with being at several MoDOT things lately. And one of the things that struck me is the amount of distracted driving going on. And I'm just as guilty as anybody. You sit there and your phone rings, and I would beg you, everybody in this room, put the phone down and don't pick it up until you stop the car. And it hit home to me when this young man passed, and the devastation that caused with his family and friends. And there, but for the grace of God go I, or any of us for that matter. That's all I gotta say.
City Administrator's report,
No report.
council comments.
Yeah, bless you, whoever sneezed. Last Monday, we had a P&Z meeting in here, and I'm just curious, I know Sarah wrote I think you sent an email over to the county for the county to look it over for their meeting. I talked to one of the gentlemen on the board over there, and they were never shown the email from the city of Washington. So I guess my question is, maybe next time, I don't know what we can do. I'm not faulting anybody here, but somehow or another, we need to get that info to them, because it was voted on and the email was never given to for them before their vote. So I just wanted to bring that forward. I don't know what we can do better, or.
I can say the letter was received because I got a reply back. So it was received by Scotty.
How do you even read that at the beginning of the meeting?
Scotty mentioned it. She didn't read it. She mentioned it, that they received an email from City of Washington. But when I asked after the vote was done that evening, because I was there as well, it was not put in front of any of the people on the board. So I don't know what we need to do to get that better. I don't know if it would have changed anybody. Who knows? But
I don't think the letter that we sent, the planning and zoning,
That we
was
supported
also, it was in support of the facility. So I don't know that there was really anything that our planning and zoning commission sent that would make them change. I mean, it's very short to the point that basically we voted to support the application.
I understand, but they never saw any of it, so.
But that was read?
Scotty Egan read that at the beginning of the meeting, that it was because due to a less than a mile and a half from the city of Washington, due to the statute, that the planning and zoning the night before voted AO in favor of it, and it's just a letter of recommendation of approval, not that has any validity to them.
Okay.
It just came.
I will comment, Mark, that I have talked with, and this would take a code change at the county level, that if this would have been a subdivision that we had concerns about with regards to how it was being developed, with regards to width of streets, water lines, et cetera, all of those, 24 hours to reply is a very short window. I think we can all agree to that. I would say even a week is a short time to go ahead and reply. So I had this discussion with Mark, but what it would take is for the county and their regulations to give a minimum comment period before they make any decision on anything that's within a mile and a half of city limits. Now, I will tell you that the majority of the requests that you get from the county, we usually have no concerns with. They may be a minor subdivision, just outside of town. And, you could look at it as, well, there's a burden, you're going to make them wait another 30, 40 days before they get an approval of something simple. But on the flip side, we have had situations in the past where subdivisions have gone in. And if you'll remember, for those of you that were on the councils at the time, our planning and zoning commission would come up with a list, our fire department would come up with a list, and they'd send that over to the county. And as a matter of fact, we even took it to the next level on a couple of the developments, because we asked the council for a resolution I don't know if it was a resolution to, I don't know what the right term would be, Mark, but I mean, basically listing our list of concerns that we had. And basically what it did was it created that the county commission then had to act on that subdivision rather than the planning and zoning commission. And in those two cases, it was a different commission, you know, they unanimously approved it anyway, based on what was submitted to them, because it was, they felt that here's our codes, if they're meeting them, if the city wants something different, there's nothing we can really do about it. But at least give 30 to 40-day window for comment. So, I mean, Sarah basically went out of that planning and zoning meeting, went down her thing, wrote the email up so that it could be available for them the next day. But that's kind of, I mean, I don't know how you can get any shorter time frame. We have had situations in the past where they'll provide it, and unless we called a special meeting of the Planning and Zoning Commission so that they can review it prior to the county's Planning and Zoning Commission, that'd be the only way you get comments on it. So there is a very narrow window there. It all depends on how soon the county gets it over to, and I think the county tries their best to get it to us as soon as they get the application in, but that's just the way it is, and the county, it's up to the county to go ahead and change it. I don't think there's anything we can do at our level. Is that correct, Mark?
I mean, and maybe I'm wrong, I was at our P and Z meeting, and maybe I took it wrong. I thought there was gonna be, in that email, some of the questions and concerns along with it. And that's all I'm saying. They didn't get to see any of that.
Yeah, so in the email, I stated that the questions that were raised were actually addressed by the applicant at the time. So for the people that were asking questions and for the commission, there was no outstanding questions. I would have sent any questions that were outstanding that weren't answered, but because they were, we sent the blanket letter that it was supported unanimously and sent it out to Scotty that evening. And then John signed it, you know, so.
Okay. And the other thing is, there was some of you weren't sitting on the council at that time, but there was some big numbers on these red light cameras. There was some big numbers we were paying out, and we weren't getting, the majority of it was getting paid out to the company running the red light cameras instead of our own municipality, our police department that was doing the work years ago. That was part of the reason we steered that way, to get rid of it at that time. But maybe we need to let Mr. Edler know that we are trying every month to recruit. We go to recruitments and stuff like this to get police officers. Did anybody tell him that? Or, I mean, when he said we need more police officers, we're trying. We're trying to get them. So maybe that's something we need to reach out and tell him.
Well, I think he meant additional officers from
Yes.
what we have, yeah.
I took his comments tonight that he's looking at have additional
Whatever we
officers
need to fill
there.
plus additional.
Correct.
Concerns, I would just say to Mark, to the planning and zoning issue, in the city of Washington, we have, if someone sends something to planning and zoning for code change or for zoning change, we contact neighbors within 180 feet.
85.
185. Sometimes it doesn't seem like that's enough. And that's something we need to look at here. In the county, it's 600 feet. And when you're talking a farm of that many acres, only 2 or 3 neighbors got notified. And that was the consensus I got out of a lot of people in the stand. You know, they live a mile down the road, drive by it every day, see it, but they never got notified. And again, that's not our problem. That's just something that goes on in the county. But that's something that I've seen over and over. People are like, we didn't know nothing about it.
Yeah, there was gentlemen there that their land butts up to their land, and they didn't know anything about it.
Yeah, I mean, if it butts up, it should get it, but, you know, again, that's just an issue that.
It's not us, right?
Right, it's not us. You know, there is residents of Washington who live on South Point Road who the truck traffic will affect. I know one gentleman stood up and said, shame on Washington for not notifying their residents. It's not about us notifying our residents. It's not the case at all. I tried to mediate that response, but I couldn't do that. But anyway, the thing that stood out to me, and I didn't get to ask Cameron this question, but the taxes of that proposal goes to the school district, to East Central College, it goes to the county, not to the city of Washington and not to the special road district, in which the roads will be a detriment, affected, however you want to say that.
Interesting.
So just, again, it's already passed, it's done, but another issue in the special road district conversations, that those are I mean, and again, I'll speak on their behalf. They're the ones that are going to pay for the roads to be repaired. and our section of South Point Road that'll need to be repaired, and we're not on that list to be reimbursed. Does that make, you understand what I'm saying? You know, the school district is gonna, you know, get a paycheck for that, et cetera. So, again, just something that, as our neighbors, as that mile and a half goes out, as that development goes out, and we all know that development is going out, what's going south, and what we have a vested interest in, again, I think it starts with our Planning and Zoning Commission needs to realize, because that slide wasn't presented to our Planning and Zoning Commission on Monday night, but it was on Tuesday night at the county. But again, no funds to Washington, no funds to the Special Road District to take care of the roads.
Yeah, we saw the
I
slide.
think that slide was in our, when we.
Was it in our slide? Okay.
And there's a small amount that is, you know, I think they even gave the amount, I can't remember what it was, but they talked about the amount to the roads. Now that compared to a school district.
Right.
is-
When I say not at all, I'm saying it in relation.
It was
to
like
what it's gonna cost the road.
$20,000.
Right.
It was very minimal
I had
compared to
14
the.
in my head. I mean,
Yeah, I
it
think it
was
was
very minimal,
20 years.
It's not gonna cover the cost of, and again, I think this is already passed. This is just, it's gotta be a learning curve for us to know that there's gonna be a subdivision that's gonna go
Oh, yeah.
south. There's no doubt about that, as we're doing that. And if something is not in the city limits of Washington, in Franklin County, their planning and zoning approves it, and then we're gonna pay for the roads to get there. And I just think that needs something we need to learn from this time, again. not
But here's my question, is like, what do you do to change that, though? I mean, because what we've experienced in the past, even if you make comments to the Planning and Zoning Commission, we passed a resolution opposing, for example, Ming Estates back in the day, due to the fact of the width of the roads and the fire protection that was located within it. I think that's just one example. There was a couple of other subdivisions. I think also Eastland Oaks might have been another one that also the city got notification for and concerns. At the end of the day, it's up to the county commission, and there's nothing you can do about it. You can make your comments, you can sit there and oppose it, and then make the county commission themselves vote in favor of it, but that's it. I would say one of the things that if you're concerned about the roads out there, an easy solution, I think, or what I think is an easy solution, is devote more money towards those roadways that the jurisdictions can go ahead and apply for through the Franklin County Road and Bridge Tax. They only provide 5% of their funds that they set aside each year that all of the cities can go ahead and apply for. Now, Charles got 50,000, I think, you know, or something for, I mean, it's usually, it's a minor amount.
Right.
When you consider the whole budget of each roadway project, right?
Right.
But yet we have to put these signs up to have a geography lesson for everybody to know where the money came from.
Right.
And to me, it's like, you're in Franklin County, we're all in Franklin County, is it, you know, why do we need to be reminded that on a sign? But that's okay, one of my own pet peeves. But my point is, it's only 5% that they do. And I think that if you had more money that you devoted, especially to intersections like Studerman and 47, where they're gonna see traffic there, or 5th and 100. And if you had more money going towards those types of projects, types of improvements, it would be helpful. And I think that's where I think you could ask the county to go ahead and have a good dialogue with them to possibly see what we could do for that. That's just my opinion. St. Charles has got a good, I think, model for how they divvy up their tax within all of St. Charles County. They've got a board that you go through, and they'll focus on improvements on 70, wherever it is where the traffic is, and that's where they devote most of their funds, not, okay, the county's got 95% of their funds, they go spend it wherever they need to, and then they leave 5% back for the cities, where if you look, a lot of times that's where you got a lot more traffic.
Right.
Right? I mean, the traffic counts are higher, so you'd impact more people that way.
So St. Charles does it by traffic count.
Well, yeah, or they look at it like, what's the total impact to the motorists? So they're spending the money where they need to. I mean, I'm not saying the county's not spending it where they need to. I'm just saying that focus is there, and that's something that maybe we can do at Franklin County. So. I had no report, trust me.
Move to adjourn.
Second.
Motion by Pat, or I'm sorry, Albert, and who seconded? Chad? All those in favor say aye. Aye. We are done. Thank you, guys. Not bad.
No, 8 o'clock, it's pretty good.
What you're saying is exactly what I told a few callers.
Oh, I'm gonna
Push comes to shove, there's not a damn thing we can do about it.
Oh.
That'll never happen.
And I get it, they probably don't feel like. Congrats, Bo. Yeah, man.
Thanks for coming. Being congratulated.
Thanks for spending money, Bo.
Feels good, so
It does.